Good morning, 5th grade. Today we're ready for math lesson 165. We have a review lesson today, reviewing our fractions. We're getting into all kinds of review lessons, just like in language. So first of all, we have a lot of our flashcards for review of all of the things that we've been talking about. And because we have so many, I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. So go ahead and give the answer as soon as you see the card, as soon as you can think of the answer, and then I'll tell you what the answer is. So let's go ahead and get started. What is this called? Intersecting lines. Line, rectangle, perpendicular lines, parallel lines, simple closed curve, similar triangles, congruent triangles, polygon, parallelogram, line segment, ray, square, rhombus, trapezoid, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon. Vertex is the corner here where the two line segments meet. This line is a diagonal. Congruent angles, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, right triangle, isosceles triangle, angle, point, equilateral triangle. What is the formula for converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit? F equals 9 over 5 times C plus 32. Formula for converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius. C equals 5 over 9 times, in parentheses, F minus 32. Boiling point of water Fahrenheit, 212 degrees. Boiling point of water Celsius, 100 degrees. Freezing point of water Celsius, 0 degrees. Normal body temperature Celsius, 37 degrees. Normal body temperature Fahrenheit, 98.6 degrees. Freezing point of water Fahrenheit, 32 degrees. 1 square foot equals how many square inches? 144. 1 square yard equals how many square feet? 9. 1 square mile equals how many acres? 640. 1 acre equals how many square feet? 43,560. Now we're changing these fractions to their decimals. 5/10, 25/100, 75/100, 2/10, 4/10, 6/10, 8/10, 125,000, 375,000, 625,000, 875,000, 3/10 repeating, 6/10 repeating, 1600th with the 6 repeating, 8300th with the 3 repeating. 1 millennium equals how many years? 1,000. What does deca mean? 10, 100, 1,000, 1 1,000th, 1 100th, 1/10. 1 peck equals how many quarts? 8. 1 bushel equals how many pecks? 4. 1 pound equals how many ounces? 16. 1 ton equals how many pounds? 2,000. 1 mile equals how many feet? 5,280. 1 mile equals how many yards? 1,760. 1 meter equals how many decimeters? 10. 1 meter equals how many centimeters? 100. 1 meter equals how many millimeters? 1,000. 1 kilometer equals how many meters? 1,000. 1 hectometer equals how many meters? 100. 1 decameter equals how many meters? 10. 1 quart equals how many pints? 2. 1 gallon equals how many quarts? 4. 1 pint equals how many cups? 2. 1 tablespoon equals how many teaspoons? 3. 1 cup equals how many fluid ounces? 8. 1 pint equals how many fluid ounces? 16. 1 century equals how many years? 100. 1 year equals how many months? 12. 1 year equals how many days? 365. 1 week equals how many days? 7. 1 day equals how many hours? 24. 1 hour equals how many minutes? 60. 1 minute equals how many seconds? 60. 1 yard equals how many feet? 3. And 1 foot equals how many inches? 12. Okay, now we have some mixed numbers. And what do we do when we have mixed numbers? What do we change them to? Mixed numbers we change to improper fractions. So go ahead and change these to their improper fraction. 5 and 3/7. 9 and 1/6. 8 and 2/9. 4 and 4/5. Now some of these will be able to just be changed to whole numbers. 2, 4 and 1/6, and 3 and 3/4, and we're going to stop with that. Okay, now we have some more fractions that we're working with, fractions and mixed numbers on the board. That is what your lesson is reviewing today. So first of all, we're going to start with improper, or fractions, not improper fractions, but fractions that are not in the lowest terms. I have those listed here at the top. So if they're not in the lowest terms, we need to take the highest number that goes into both the numerator and denominator and reduce the fraction. So let's go ahead and start with that. 4/6, how can you reduce that to the lowest terms? 2 goes into the numerator and denominator, so our new fraction would be 2/3. What about 3/9? Reduce that to the lowest terms. 1/3, 2/8. 1/4, 11/33. 1/3, and 4/22. That will be 2/11. Okay, now we have some mixed numbers that we are adding together, and we're subtracting, and then we're also multiplying and dividing our fractions. So first of all, before we can add or subtract fractions, we have to have common denominators. So to do that, let's find the lowest number that all of our denominators can go into. For this one, it would be 15. Then we need to find our new numerator. So 5 goes into 15 3 times. Multiply that by 2. So our first numerator is 6. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. Here we have 15 goes into 15 1 time. 1 times 4 equals 4. Now we need to add. So we'll add our fractions first and then our whole numbers. 6 plus 5 plus 4 equals 15. And then 15/15. Add our whole numbers together. We have, let's go ahead and move this whole number over just a bit. We have 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 9 is 19. Then we have 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. 49 and 15/15. So we can make 15 over 15 a whole number, which would be 1. Now we're going to add our whole number to our other whole number, which gives us 50, okay? Now, we would work this the exact same way. You need to find your common denominator and then subtract. We're going to leave that one. We're not going to work it in class, but pretty much same thing, just subtracting instead of adding. Now, if we have fractions that we need to multiply and divide, let's start with the first one here. We have a mixed number and a fraction, so we first have to make our mixed number into a fraction. We'll go denominator times whole number plus the numerator. So we have 11 over 8 times 4 over 9. Now we need to cancel. We cancel our 4 and our 8. 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 8 two times. Now multiply, we have 11 over 18, and that is our fraction. Now when we divide fractions, what do we do instead of just going ahead and multiplying? That's one simple step, but what do we need to do before we can work dividing fractions? What we need to do is change our sign from dividing to multiplying. We do the opposite process, and then we also invert our second fraction. So instead of 5 over 12, we now have 12 over 5. Okay, so remember opposite process and then invert your fraction. Then you can multiply. You multiply the fraction like normal. We're going to leave that fraction just as it is. We're not going to finish that up now either. Go ahead and work your lesson today very carefully. You're working a lot with fractions, and let me know if you have any questions about anything in your lesson today. And I will see you in language class.